Guys, the new operator is
Lord have mercy, I'm
absolutely
about to
insane, and
bust.
I had so much fun testing them out. So I went over every single map and went over a site setup for every single map with this new gadget. Let me know down in the comments, guys, what your thoughts and opinions on this new operator. I actually had so much fun doing this video. Now, if you ever played Bank downstairs, guys, you would know that there's two areas that are super annoying to defend. Right here in Garage, and then we have Server. So we're going to be setting up for Garage and Server. Our very first laser is going to be over here underneath the bank truck. The second is going to be on this tire right here. The third is going to be connected to both of them on this white pipe. And just like that, the enemies are basically stuck with giving you information that they're destroying the utility or pushing up in Garage. So let's just show you. So if they push up, they're going to have to swing all the way wide just to shoot this one. But then they still can't shoot the black car one. And they literally will get hit by a laser if they try to swing the one underneath. And even if they shoot this one that's on the white pipe, that will give you information that somebody's around this black SUV. So you can either swing or just in general, you have that information. Now, the last four, we're going to head over to Server. And you're going to actually want to start this off by exploding this red gas canister. The reason why, because it will break the gadget. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the very first one on this chair like he's sitting. You know, he's just a sitting little guy. The next one we're going to place right behind the broken canister. Now, the reason why you're going to want to place it like this is because if you can tell, I just tried to shoot through it and it did not break. And for some reason, the game doesn't register as like something's in the way. So you want to basically place it standing up. And this will cut off anybody trying to take dirt. They can't shoot this unless they swing all the way wide on this. And that's usually a free kill if somebody's in Server. The next one we're going to place over here tucked in the corner. Trying to find the lineup. Yeah, I messed up the lineup. We're going to place it on that cart. And that gives you double the damage on the person dirt. But it also helps you deal with the person coming down blue stairs. And as you can tell, they can't do anything. They can't swing and shoot it. They also can't swing and shoot any of these. So whoever's behind Server rack can literally just play their lives. And the very last one, I'm actually going to place underneath this little cabinet. Because if they go ahead and they drop the hatch, they now have to worry about the laser if they didn't destroy this tucked one. Which I'm going to show you what it looks like from the hatch if they can even see it. So they can't even see this one. So either way, this laser will be up. They'll have to drop or try to evade it. And even if they get everything else in this room besides this one laser and this one in the corner. Okay, now ventilation is a very annoying site to try to defend and hold since people can just jump in and just go for a plant. So let's try to make their lives harder. Okay, now my first three gadgets are going to be one right here tucked, one below the window, and then one far tucked. The reason why I'm doing this is if anybody tries to drone in, their drone's going to get burnt. And they'll basically have to waste multiple drones or multiple pieces of utility just to try to get it in there. So it just makes it a pain in the ass. And if they jump in, they take 40 damage off of this. And it could be 60 if they hit all three. It's just depending on the angle that they're hitting, to be honest. Now, the rest of my gadgets, I'm actually going to set up for the blue desk area. So I'm going to place a gadget behind this main lobby desk area. And I'm also... Hold up. So I'm going to place another gadget underneath this customs blue bin. And then I'm going to throw my second one right here. Now, you don't want to place it too high because then they can just crouch over it. They're basically going to end up just hitting this. And they can't shoot it, is what's interesting. They have to basically micro peek into this and then hope they don't hit it. And then this one's basically indestructible. And the last two, I'm actually going to place one in supply with a head hole into bottom metal and the other for metal hallway. So now if they try to swing metal, they have to swing wide. They can't destroy any of these gadgets, and they can't just rush down from bottom metal. Start the round by putting one right on this white bookshelf. Next, break open this cabinet. Then place it far right here. And then what you're going to want to do is break open this floorboard right here. And go ahead and just place it in the floor right there. And as you can tell, you can't shoot it even when you open the breach. You're going to have to swing super wide to shoot this one. And this one that's in the cabinet, you can't bang it unless you go below or you get a twitch drone or something. So that is super fire. This basically stops them just from getting default plant, and it's a very late round situation type laser gates. And honestly, I actually hate like defending bathroom because the perspective angles are super cringe. So what we're gonna do is we're actually just gonna go ahead and place one for the jump in, being right there. So if they two hit it, they're going to go ahead and jump in, and they hit it and they get shocked. Now, if they take solar area, they can definitely shoot that. So what we can do here is we can find a spot here in solar, which the last two I'm just going to put right here. One in the corner, one over there. Because if they try to swing up, then they'll have to hit the laser to shoot it on both ways. Like, look how tight that laser is. It's basically like touching this. So you want to make sure it's basically like touching this metal stove area. We're going to be focusing on B site with our gadgets and long hallway. I don't know what rank you are, but I like to make this rotate no matter what. And then my first gadget's going to be on this brown dresser. And then the second one is going to be right here underneath this metal shelf. And you want to place another one over here underneath this metal shelf as well. And then from here, you're actually going to be breaking this shelf as well. And then placing another one right there. And the last one being right here. As you can tell, the metal pole is in the way of this. So they're, of course, if they drop hatch, they're going to have to swing wide for it. And the point of this is to basically make them forced to have to not watch common angles, looking at you, trying to shoot you. And it's also cutting off any utility that's getting thrown from the hatch. You could also rotate this a little bit farther down, so, you know, it's not like at Andre the Giant's head angle. And of course, there's debris in the way now. Sick. But yeah, there's just, it's very overstimulating, very silly. And yeah, this is how I am going to be trying to use Denari on Clubhouse, at least, because it's very hard retaking back Arsenal. So I want to make their lives hell while trying to retake. And a cool tip that I really like is actually this staircase trick with Denari. So you want to go to the very bottom of a staircase, and you want to place two like this. Now, this might seem stupid because you're like, wow, they can see this really easy. No, they can't. So when they walk down, they're going to hit it and it's going to shock them. And that will just give you intel to be able to swing from generator box here. Or even if you can swing dummies if the hatch isn't open. Or just in general, it's just another line of intel that you're getting that someone's pushing. We're going to place one in the corner. And then one tucked right on the hookah. And then here's where the magic happens, guys. The magic. Okay, the first one's going to go underneath the pool table. Then the second is going to be connected to this, which is going to be a broken, like underneath the broken luggage. And then the other one's going to be underneath the couch. And then we're going to place one on this luggage right here. And then we're going to place the second one far tucked in the corner. That's only because now if someone's going to come luggage, they're basically forced to have to shoot the one in the corner. So you'll have intel that somebody's coming. And from here, of course, like they're forced to swing any of those. If somebody drops blacktop, jumps in, they hit it. And if they really wanted to shoot it, they can drop here, shoot it, then jump in. But once again, you still have that audio that somebody is around this area. Okay, the very first one is going to be a drone hole stopper. So you're going to want to break this weird wooden slab that they have on the corner here. Just so you can hide it a lot better. Now, starting out, I would place it tucked as possible, trying to make sure that the debris doesn't stop it. So we're going to go ahead and place it all the way back here on the red car. And I'm just going to make sure I positioned it high enough. And basically, nobody's going to be able to get a drone through. They can't jump that. If they try to burn any utility, you know, it'll get that. And the good thing about this is the only way that you can get over this is by running through it, burning it, and there's no jumping, is basically what I'm trying to say. I'm just going to keep it simple and just place 2 back here. Just so if they come down, you know, they can't swing and shoot it, since as you can tell, it's too tucked. And then the last 3 I'm going to use for the long hallway and the back entrance. So I'm going to place 1 here, 1 here, and then 1 behind the wood slack here. Once again, there's no way that they can physically get up and shoot it, as you can tell, unless they jump over, then shoot it, and then that gives you sound indication that somebody's actually jumped over. And even with this one, they have to swing so wide. So this is just controlling a lot of the map. And if they're trying to drone out, then they're going to have to jump over them and then give you intel once again. Okay, now for CEO side, probably the most prominent parts of this map when people play it is opening up single wall. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to place 1 in the waiting room, 1 on this door as tight as possible, because perspective is a huge thing with these. So for example, there's no way in heck that they're going to be able to shoot that unless they run through it and burn. We're going to place another one in the hallway to connect it. And let's say right there, a little glitchy for some reason, and it can just go through that. But, you know, they would basically have to swing wide, look at the ground, and that gives you time to swing from either green or a side door, of course. Now, my last 4, I'm going to be using around A site, because A site is very, very, very annoying. Mostly because people like to just jump in the site window. So I'm going to go ahead and place that there. Place another one there. And if they jump in, they'll of course hit it. They can't destroy it unless they, you know, jump in or come from Orange Hall. And the last 2, I'm just going to be placing for hunting side. So I'm just going to go ahead and break all this bamboo sticks. And we're basically just going to be using it as a cap can almost. So we're just going to place it right there. Then they can't swing. They can't destroy it. And then what you can do is you can play off your lasers. You can play top music hall. Maybe even place a shield if you wanted to. Or if you really wanted to be a little freak, you can place a shield on top green. Play it. Contest them. Make sure they can't get the hallway. Maybe get your teammate to put a piece of barb. Or even you can put 2 lasers on the staircase right here and here. Now we're going to start really simple here. We're going to go ahead and place one behind the trash bin. And place it right there. So if they try to push in, they'll literally have to burn it. Burn utility, all that good stuff. I'm going to place another one on the jump in of this window. Ignore the line connecting. Make sure you shoot any debris over here because it can get very annoying. Sometimes the line doesn't line up. And as you can tell, if you jump in, you're going to hit it. Super annoying. And then the last 3, I would honestly say that you should try to contest freezer side, because this is a very common area that people try to like open up. So with freezer is place a gadget in the corner, another on the bomb chassis, and then honestly just another one connecting them. Because what happens is they can't peek to shoot any of the gadgets. They're exposing their body. And even if they burn one, then they have to use another piece of utility to burn both. And if they run into it, that's 40 damage. If they go back in, they try to plant, it resets. That's more damage. So they actually have to physically look down and shoot it. And honestly, it's just a pain in the butt to deal with. Now let's go over to Canal. We're going to go upstairs. And I feel like this map's going to be huge for Denari because there's so many nooks and crannies on this map. Okay, we're going to keep it really simple for the first 2. So the first two is just going to go on the side doors like this. Once again, they can't really shoot it either. They don't have any perspective. And it kind of works for the double door. This is mainly for the double door, by the way. You're going to want to go ahead and break this stupid little red chair. And another one is going to go right there. So even if they get past the first one, they're stuck swinging left to try to shoot this. And anybody that's playing sight will know that you can easily get a free kill if somebody's, you know, turning their back on you. Break this chair once again. And then place one right here. And once again, what this does is this covers Skybridge. You put one right here. This one connects. So basically the main take is going to be basically damn near impossible. They're going to have to flood all their utility over here. And then I'm not going to lie, my biggest problem with defending is people jumping in windows. So I'm literally just going to go ahead and place this right about here. And if they jump in, they will get hit by it. There's no way that they can shoot it unless they're already pre-aiming right here or pre-aiming on the ladder. And besides that,
your location has been compromised.
You can swing from server and get an easy frag just based off of that. Let me show you guys something that Pox Unlocks found. It's not really found. Like he basically made this strat up, and he did this against me, and it was hell trying to do anything like take map control. So at first glance, you're probably thinking, wow, this is a lot of commitment for this utility. But in reality, it's really not, because it is a round winning type of use of the utility. So basically what happens here is there's so many freaking lasers that it's going to be dang near impossible to get a drone through lockers or a body. Even if I shoot one. Let's say I shoot that, okay, then I still have to deal with all this. This is 80 damage. If I hit all four of these, then I can shoot this, then I can shoot that. But, like, you're not going to have the time to flick around while you're in sight while the enemies are holding it down. That's what people don't understand about these gadgets. But if you're not a big fan of using all your utility in here and you want to kind of contest enemies from taking map control, I found this strat when I was cooking up with Pox when we were in a custom game. So let me just pick up all these gadgets and show you. So you want to head over to warehouse, of course, and you just go ahead and reinforce off these double walls, which is once again pretty default. And what you're basically going to be doing here is you're going to be committing a lot of your util over in warehouse. Now, once again, people are going to have a hard time finding these gadgets if they're not IQ. That's what I want you to know from watching this video, is the most obvious things are going to be able to work because of how difficult it is trying to find these gadgets. Okay, so basically you're going through the James Bond edition of Siege, because you have a placement here, which they're not going to be able to see from that door. You also can't see this gadget from anything because you have a pole in the way. You're not going to be able to see that because of all the stuff that's in the way. The only gadget that you're possibly able to see is if you swing super wide to shoot this one. But even then, like, you're having to go through all this just to get to this point, to where you have two lasers here and then you're staring at the ground. So as long as you're contesting this area and you're using the lasers to your advantage, you can lock down warehouse. Just make sure a teammate is playing lockers, or you're keeping an eye on it, making sure they're not taking barrels, and, you know, just contesting. You can do so much with these gadgets. It's so cool. Upstairs on Nighthaven is very common. So I'm going to place my first one for the blue entrance being right here, because a lot of people usually play Warden Shield right here. So this gives you another level of either somebody having to burn the utility, swing and shoot it, or, you know, that gives you that time to swing, pump them. Or what you could do which I really love, is I like sitting in front of the laser. And then if they go up to the barricade and they punch it and they drone you out and you shoot it, they're not going to see the immediate laser since you just shot it. And, you know, you're covering it. Then you can just back up. And then they have to worry about it. So there's like levels to the strategy with this gadget. It's super dope. Next, I'm just going to put one in the corner for blue just for late, since it is like the most common take for players to do. You know, pillar, you could use this one that's in the floor here, right by over here, so they can't walk in if they open connector. And then you could just place one there. Now, this is able to get shot from IT, but at least they can't run on the pillar and immediately plant. Okay, now, starting out, you're going to want to break this WWE chair. Go ahead and throw one on this keg, and we're going to place the other one in the middle of the foosball table. They can't shoot it from the main breach. They can't shoot it from the window. And they can't shoot it from below door. So it's the perfect all-around default plant stopper. Next up, we're going to break this bolo dresser from the sides and from the front here. Debris does get in the way, so it's kind of annoying. Next, you're going to want to place a third gadget right here. Hold up. You're really going to have to make sure the debris is gone. Right there. And then we're going to place another one as tight as possible on the right side. Once again, the debris, guys, you got to make sure debris is gone. You're going to hear me say debris a lot. And basically what you have here is another way that the enemy team is going to be contested. Now, they can't get rid of it unless they swing onto it, or if they, let's say, repel and they try to get it off from there. But that's only stopping one laser. This is basically indestructible unless they go below and use an ash charge or a PC utility. That's very important. But basically, you have two lasers here, which will do 40 damage if they run through it, and will shock them. Now, the last three lasers that you have, so I basically have one in kids connecting to big window, and then I have another one right here so they can't jump in. Now, if a drone tries to jump in, it's going to burn it and it will reset after a few seconds. That's the great thing about these, is they're basically ADSs that do damage, so you can get very flexible. This is a very defensive heavy strategy, and you're kind of just banking on late round situations, kind of like a Rooney Gates. It gets better as the round progresses because they're going to have less utility. So this is just good overall, just to help you and your teammates, especially if you have just dumbass teammates. Starting out, I really like this drone hole. It gives you a lot of freedom to do a lot of stuff with these types of gadgets. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to place one right here in laundry, and then one on the main breach. If they walk in, they will basically have to prone to shoot it, or throw a grenade, or twitch drone. And I'm going to connect another one for top yellow. This is more or less for like a shield, because these gadgets are really solid for dealing with shields. And then I'm going to place one on this beside the palm tree, and then tucked left of picnic, because they can't swing in, they can't destroy it, and I honestly like just having this wall reinforced and head holes here, so then I can peek the window, or I can peek, you know, if anybody walks in games. Okay, so to wrap it up, we have one on the drone hole, one for yellow staircase, one connected all the way in the middle of laundry. That's connected to this drone hole one, which I placed down, which I've connected to this piano one. And then I have placed on the picnic door. And then, of course, on the palm tree. And one of the most common takes for this site is enemies will try to take Geisha. So here's what we're going to do. Make sure you break this desk and all this other horse crap that's here, because I'm struggling. Okay, so we're going to place one here. So for the jump in on the window, they can't see this gadget either. And this is also for the single Geisha wall. And now what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to connect this one to this single one right here. And I'm going to show you why. Because you're going to make feet holes for Dragon because you're going to be playing a shield around this area. Let me explain. Let me cook. So this window can't see it. The balcony can't see it. And now basically what's going to happen is you're going to play a shield right here. You can put it farther back. This will allow you to contest the balcony. Anybody trying to push up to shoot the laser on that middle one. And you should, of course, have a teammate always playing drum. This is very common for solo queue, just so you can swing anybody that's in this terrace area. And then you can also swing anybody that's trying to walk in Geisha. And just based off of that, you have 3 left over. Now, what you can do is you can actually place some for the karaoke side of that. What you can do is you can place one right here. You can go back into karaoke. You can place one... Hold up, I think debris is in the way. Yeah, there is. You can place 2 right there. And basically what this does is this cuts off both sites. And to destroy it, they would have to prone in the open to shoot that one or run through the rotate. Which, honestly, you can even use the 3rd one inside sight to basically just cover off the rotate. So if they go up to the rotate, they get cut off, and now there's 2 lasers. And this basically just gives you so much map control, guys. Okay, so starting out on this site, we're gonna start with the vending machine, actually. So we're gonna place one, I want to say 32B2. Let's see. Yep, 32B2. I'm gonna place it right there. Since this has 20-meter distance, you have quite a bit of leeway to kind of connect everything. It's really cool, actually, how well they did these lasers. They're really dope. Okay, so the next 5 gadgets, here's what you're going to do. You're going to throw one on the corner of this shelf. You're going to throw one on top of the bomb chassis standing up. Just make sure it's not, you know, in visuals for anybody to swing and just easily shoot it. Yep, we're good. You want to place one on the mattress here. And then you want to place one on this refrigerator. And the very last one, you're going to connect all of them together by this table. And now what this does is this basically contests anybody from running in on the breach. They're not able to shoot it because of this table. And the only way that they can shoot it is by swinging wide into sight and shooting it right here. But either way, even if they shoot that one, there's these lasers. You have the protection of the reinforcement. And this can go crazy. Like, this default breach is going to be super hard to get for many people. And even if they burn this one and they try to plant, by the time they plant, this one's going to be reset. So they're gonna have to burn it again or crouch under it. Which, if you're worried about them crouching under it, we can literally just do this, and then we can just move this one that's in the break room a little bit lower, and you have this crazy setup. So you just have this really, really, really intricate, annoying laser setup for bunks. Okay, now the very first one you're going to want to throw over here in laundry. Of course, you're making feet holes. Then you are going to break this middle chassis. And I'm going to position it as tightly close to the bomb chassis as possible. And as you can tell, this is just something that they would have to walk up close and then try to shoot to destroy it. From here, we're actually going to place some traps over here in Memo, because Memo is a very annoying pinch point that enemies usually use. So we're just going to go ahead and place one in the corner here, because the corner you can't really shoot. And the other one we're going to place all the way in this corner, so the person can't just walk in. They have to burn or just, you know, maybe rethink their push overall. And then the next one, I'm actually going to place right here on the floor. Because if I place it close, they're going to be able to shoot it. So technically, they would be able to just walk up and shoot it. But here's how I'm going to make this work. Say they see this. I'm going to place 2 on this staircase right here just to try to bait them. Because realistically, if somebody's walking down red, which is very common, look at this. They cannot see the trap unless you're looking at your peripherals and you're already deep. And you're going to hit that. So this basically just protects all the common pushes, let you know where they're pushing from. It's not like a very super overpowered, but I like some of the spots like this one.